Good morning, everybody. It is hair wash day today, so I thought I would take you along with me because today I'm going to be testing out a very exciting shampoo conditioner duo. Here it is. It's Kundal K-Beauty. I'm really excited about this just because I love K-Beauty and J-Beauty for skincare, and I did a lot of research on these ingredients, and we're gonna go through some of them as I detangle my hair and go through my pre-hair wash day treatment. Okay, so as you can see here, this is the Honey Macadamia Pure Natural Balancing Refreshing Shampoo, and same goes here for the conditioner, only they call it protein treatment. And I did research because of course I don't want an overload of protein in my hair, but apparently in Korea the terms are different, which I understand because I use the skincare. So what all the reviews and all the info online were saying is that that's just what they call their conditioner that has an infusion of protein. And we're going to talk exactly about what is in these products, both the shampoo and the conditioner. I went through them pretty much with a fine-tooth comb just because I have a sensitive scalp. I also color my hair. Even though I don't bleach it, I do use color. So I want to make sure that it's color safe, and because I have the sensitive scalp, I actually cannot use sulfates. Like, all sulfates bother me. So that's why I've done so much research on more natural or more just gentle cleansing surfactants, because we need to cleanse our scalp, but I can't use harsh sulfates because they are irritating. So I'm toggling here between this brush and this brush, and this is my very gentle tangle teaser. I have the medium one too. This is your finisher, but I always like to use it as like round one when I'm detangling before I wash my hair because I don't use it very much. So as you can see, just want to make sure I go through every section is detangled before I do my pre-oiling treatment. So let's go through the Kundal ingredients. So I was really excited about this because there are 0 harsh sulfates in here. So by the way, when I'm detangling, even though I start from here, the second I feel a tangle, I stop. And then what I do is I finger comb. I know people say start from the bottom. You can do that too. Then you stop. You stop. I go through every section. I had an amazing sidebar before we get back into the Kundal. I had an amazing hair wash day the last time I washed my hair, and I know it was because I did a really meticulous detangling job before. So just as a sidebar, that's why I pay so much attention. So I stop where there's tangles, and because my hair is like naturally wavy, and even though there's a lot of it, it's on the finer side, so this tends to get tangled, which is why I need to be gentle. Okay, so if you have like color treated hair, you have frizzy hair, you have sensitive scalp, this shampoo and conditioner really checked off all the boxes for me. So let's go through this. So the cleansing agents are all coconut derived in this, and if you haven't seen my video on sulfates where I literally researched as many as I could find literature on, I will link that below. But it's always good to understand, like, if you're not using the harsh cleansing agents, where are the cleansing agents coming from? Primarily they're coming from coconut derived ingredients, amino acids, plant extracts, so on and so forth. So some of the coconut derived cleansing agents in this formula here are the sodium cocoa isothionate, the sodium cocoa alaninate, and these are gentle pH balance, so they're not going to strip your color or irritate your scalp. So very happy with the cleansing agents. This formula also includes glycerin and erythritol, and these are humectants that draw in moisture to the hair so your scalp stays hydrated, because we all want to have a hydrated scalp. Of course, we don't want it to feel dried out at any time after washing, and of course we don't want to deal with any irritation. So sidebar, you see how detangled this is. It looks fuzzy because once again my hair is naturally wavy, so this is what it's going to look like when you brush out your waves. So according to all the research I did, if you're dealing with like a dry scalp, irritated scalp, or anything like that flaking, it's apparently super gentle and it should be soothing for the scalp. Onto the other side of the hair now, and let's talk protein treatment, which is of course their version of conditioner. So the first thing I'm going to mention is that alcohols are up here on the list. Now, before you get frightened, this is why we need to understand different alcohols, and I have researched them and talked about them before on my channel. Cetearyl alcohol and stearyl alcohol. These are fatty alcohols, so these are not going to be stripping. These are actually going to add softness and slip to your hair. I've talked about denatured alcohol before. It is not the end of the world if you have denatured alcohol, but denatured means that it's more of a drying alcohol. So you'll get that feeling. You'll see it in a lot of products are like quick drying products. Well, you'll get that feeling of a quicker dry with that. And again, it depends where these alcohols are on your list and the type of alcohols. So it's important to know that. So let's move on to silicones. Yes, there are silicones in this conditioner, and I'm very happy that there are silicones because that means I'm gonna get a nice slip. There's dimethicone, amodimethicone, and there's also cyclopane tasiloxane. So I was familiar with dimethicone and amodimethicone, but I wasn't familiar with the cyclopane one. And essentially what these are all doing is these are gonna smooth and protect and boost up the shine in your hair without the heavy buildup. Now, amodimethicone is actually really good for this. It's really great for damaged hair and color treated hair because it's going to target your weak spots and help seal them. So that's why it's important to understand the way silicones work, because I know a lot of people are worried about buildup. If we understand the way they work, we will not be afraid of them. So I mentioned botanicals, and I think this is where this is really unique. You could say this is where it shines, pun intended, because let's just say there are a lot of botanicals in here. We've got macadamia oil, of course, the honey extract, shea butter, coconut, argan, avocado, marula, and then we've got the apricot oils. I'm just gonna flip here. These are all really moisturizing and really great for the softness and shine of our hair. Whenever I see a little bit of a knot, you need to stop, detangle, and this is why the oiling treatment is part of my pre-hair wash, everybody. Okay, we've also got some scalp supporting ingredients like calendula, the ginkgo leaf, camellia, the Lycium, portulaca, and these are really superfoods. It's like a superfood smoothie for your hair. And if these sound familiar, for those of you that love skincare, that's because a lot of these ingredients are generally found in good skincare as well. So you can see that this formulation is packed with antioxidants, anti-inflammatory ingredients, as well as a ton of nourishment in the hair. All right, so now we're going to go through the proteins in this formulation, which I think makes this formulation really special. We're gonna go through them so we can all understand what is the protein in here, and simultaneously I'm going to be oiling my ends only with this cold pressed grapeseed oil. I just put it in a travel bottle here. I never go anywhere without it. And you don't need very much of this. So let's talk proteins in this formula. They are all low molecular proteins, which means that we're talking hydrolyzed protein, keratin, silk, soy, collagen. These are all broken down small enough that they penetrate the hair shaft and they just don't sit on top. So that's what hydrolyzed protein means. From my research, what I could understand is think of it of like a long-term rehab for your hair. Something I really love is the concept of the fragrance or the perfume in this, and I love the fact that I feel it's been personalized for me, because you see here how it says amber vanilla. when you go to purchase this online, I purchased mine with my own money from Style-Level. It asks you, what scent do you want? So the honey macadamia is the actual line, but then you can choose from a ton of different scents. And because I love amber, like musky, vanilla, I chose this one. So what I'm gonna do is start washing my hair. Of course, I'm gonna do a patch test as I do with everything. Then we're gonna come back and see the results with freshly washed hair. Several hours later, here we are with the final result. So this is what I did off camera. I initially detangled with my wide-tooth comb as per usual, and I had the typical kind of tangles that I have mostly at the bottom of my hair. So the hair doesn't feel like buttery soft or way down, and that's going to be a big part of this conclusion. It's very lightweight. So what I did is after I detangled, I did a blast blow dry. It was super hot outside today, so I just focused on my roots because I don't like to have wet roots. And then I just put my hair in a braid, and a few hours later, I let it down, and here's the final result. So here is the main takeaway from the shampoo and conditioner. The shampoo is super lightweight, and it's most comparable to Apivita. Now, I'm sure a lot of people in the world haven't tried Apivita because that is a product that is based in Greece, although you can find it in other parts of the world, Italy, Spain, I think France as well, but I always get it when I'm in Greece. Very, very similar idea where it's mostly plant-based, sulfate-free, very lightweight, so you can use it on a daily, non-irritating for those of us who have super sensitive scalps, and the conditioner is lightweight as well. This really is where skincare meets hair care, and the two combine, and I can definitely feel that. So as I am lathering up and as I'm doing the conditioner, it doesn't feel like a very dense, heavy product, either one that's like full of chemicals, because if you know, we use products that have like lower grade ingredients, and it just feels very heavy both on the hands and on the hair. It's not like that. It's very lightweight. In fact, I was in a rush today, so I couldn't leave on the conditioner for a long period of time or add a shower cap for like extra benefits, or really I like to go through my hair very well. I did it pretty quickly, and I wish I had left it on a bit longer. So for those who are afraid if it's going to weigh down your hair, it is very lightweight. The smell is beautiful, and it is very, very light and mild, and it's at the very end of the ingredient list. So for those of us who are concerned about that, being at the end means that it's less than 1%. Apparently, according to their website, you'll see healthier, shinier, smoother hair that has a lot more elasticity. So I will say this, as far as smoothness, so of course I have pretty frizzy hair, could be frizzier though, and I have to say that the first thing I noticed from this hair care routine, just the first difference, was that my hair was not as frizzy here, because usually it is a mess, and I've been out doing errands today and expected it to continuously get fuzzier. It didn't, but as soon as I was just blast blow drying my roots, that's the first thing that I noticed, that it wasn't as frizzy here. Okay, so that's the first thing I noticed. It feels very lightweight, like my hair does not feel weighed down, and that's what I really want for the summer. That was actually one of my goals for this product. During the summer, I always like changing up my shampoo and conditioner because I can wash it more often, so I'm really happy it's a lot lighter, because then I can see why this is #1 in Korea. Apparently, I think they've sold over 60 million units. Could be 80 million, but I will check that in the process of editing this video. And I believe they sell over like 2.5 every second or something of that nature. I'm going to include all the stats here because I did a ton of research about the company. I am definitely going to keep using this throughout the summer And again, I will interchange it with something heavier when I feel like my hair needs something heavier, but I can definitely see that it does give you, without buying something that has volume and body. And this is a great point that I love that the blow up professor talks about. The idea of getting a shampoo that gives you volume and body is just marketing. What you should be looking for is the good ingredients, the lighter products that will not weigh down your hair, and then as a result you'll get more volume and body. Although I would leave it in longer if you need more detangling power, like just leaving the conditioner a little bit longer, so you'll get the hydration, you'll get a little bit of detangling power, you'll get a little bit of volume because it is so lightweight. I think it totally delivers what it says it does, and I'll give you a few different angles so you can take a look now. I hope this was helpful, and if you have any inquiries, always welcome in the description comment box below. And I will see you guys in the next one. Have a great day. Bye.